Hey, good day, everybody. In this video, I'm going to take a little deeper dive into how we created this change order ECO. In a previous video, I was showing a new feature that we just released in January of 2025, which contains the part number. But I wanted to dive a little bit deeper and show how I created the template and how I actually created this change order that has this extra information here. I think you might find it useful. Apologize ahead of time. This video is probably 3 or 4 minutes long. I'll try to go quickly, but I do want to dive down into the change order process and templates in particular. So you may recall in that last video, I was just kind of making some changes to our underwater camera. And in this one, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to create a new ECO template that's customer driven. We're going to make a little change to this lens here for a particular customer. So let me show you how I might set up that template, and then we'll go through and add a few things to it and use it once and kind of see how it runs. So I head over to the change management dashboard, and as the administrator, I can create a new change order template. So I'm going to take you through that right now. Let's create a new change order template. This is going to be customer driven ECO. Okay. In this case, I'm going to add a few attributes, fields to this template that'll need to be filled out when we use it. So first of all, let's just get the customer name, okay? And we are going to be interested in any material change. That's kind of a sort of a yes/no thing. And for C, let's talk about, hey, do we need to scrap any existing? Those are kind of and those are sort of typical. And you can create your own. So I've created some fields that'll need to be filled out when I use this this template. And then I'm not going to dive into approvals and things. I'm just going to add my colleague Pedro on here as an approver. There's plenty of videos on diving down into that. So I also want to point out that earlier, for my other ECO templates here, I set up my company's change order number setup. So I just, right out of the box here, I just set mine up as I have an ECO prefix and just a range of 1,000 up to 9,999. You could kind of create your own here, but that's predefined. So anytime any one of these change order templates are used, that number will be incremented kind of per that sequence there. So we've got a template created. Okay, let's head over to our data. And I'm just going to, just as an example here, I'm going to start with this lens assembly on the front end. We're going to be making a change for one of our customers, and let's create a revision here. Of course, we have change management turned on. I see I have nothing in flight here yet. But let's go ahead and create a change request. Now for change order, I'm going to create a new change order. So kind of watch what happens here. I'm going to go pick that customer driven ECO, and this customer name here is going to be CBS. The material change on this is going to be yes, and scrap existing no. So there's kind of orders, instructions to my manufacturing guys. And for this description, we are going to variant on lens opacity. Okay. So that's a different lens we're making for our friends over at CBS. Okay. And we're going to roll this up here to Rev C. And you can choose whether or not to increment things below. And again, I'm not going to dive into that. There's plenty of videos on how that worked, but here we go. All right. So I've got a change requested flight. I just created a new change order. And I'm just going to go pick up a few of the other items that are going to belong on here. And I'm going to create a change request for this one. I'm going to use that 1002 that we just created. This is going to roll to D. And again, I'm just kind of making some making some examples here. It's going to use a new gasket behind that. And the new gasket is going to be the last thing that I'll add here. I'll create a change request for that. Going to put that on the 1002, and again I'm going to roll that. It's going to be rolling to C. So you can see now that I can just kind of work my way through, start adding bits and pieces to that change request. So where it starts to get a little more interesting, and what we just released this time around here is when I view this change order 1002, I see I got my description up here at the top. I see its status is open. I've got my additional properties that I added here, customer names, what do I need to do with material, other things. You can add anything that makes sense to this change order there. And then the the change that we just released here is that we now include the part numbers for the change requests that are on this change order. So here's the change request numbers. Those were good, not great. Including the part numbers are really good features. So anyway, that is a little deeper dive into how I created that the template that I used here in this example. There's more information over at help.openbom.com, and you can always reach us at support@openbom.com. Thanks.